Yo, so today I'm going to be talking you through how I made this Billie Eilish Birds of a Feather type beat. So the first thing that I do when I'm making any type beat really is come up with some chords on the guitar first of all as like my basis, as my outline. So for this particular beat, this is what I came up with initially. So that's like two separate parts basically. It's a lead line that sounds something like this. And then chords, which are just C, F major 7, A minor 7, F major 7. So I have a lead and I have some chords. From there, what I did is I took it into Logic and I found a nice lead sound which I laid down, and it sounds something like this. What that is a serum patch that I've added some distortion to. I've then added even more distortion to it in retro color, and then I've given some nice space to it with a delay, which is the Echo Boy, and then some reverb as well. I used the Valhalla Vintage Verb, which sounds amazing on everything that you can use it on. So I have my lead, and then I needed to add my chords. So I added this pad, and this is what it sounds like with the lead together. It sounds bloody lovely. So already those two elements together sound great. I was very happy with how it's sounding, and I wanted to start to add some rhythm to the track. So what I started with was I added a Reese bass on top of it. This is what it sounds like all together. So these three elements together, we're really cooking now. This distorted Reese bass was immediately giving me Billie Eilish vibes. So then what we had to do after that was start adding the drums. So I made this kick and snare pattern, which sounds like this. Which is very close to what is on the original Billie Eilish track, with a bit more of an 80s kind of flavour. I think it sounds almost like a Taylor Swift song with those kind of drums. I then added in a tambourine loop on top of that, which I put some kickstart on, which added a lot of groove to the tambourine part. It sounds like this. And this is what it sounds like with the bass and the pad and the lead together. Sounds delicious as all hell. So I think that sounds great for the verse, but I wanted to start to kind of expand things out when we get into the pre-chorus. So I changed up the bass sounds, and I added this more like jumpy bass that you might hear again in a Taylor Swift song. Sounds like this. So I stacked up 4 different basses to get that sound. I also added in a palm muted guitar, which I'm using a Contact preset for. It's the electric sunburst, the straightforward muted. Sounds like this all together. Just adds a bit more like driving force when that bass comes in. So already it's sounding great and is a really strong basis for the track. What I want to do though is when the chorus drops in, I want to add in a few new elements that are going to really make the chorus sound much fuller and much thicker. So what I did was I added in a couple more synths that come in and also a guitar which doubles that lead line. One thing that I really like to do on this 80s kind of style of beat as well is on the chorus I like to have just octaves on the piano, just playing the root of the chords. That just helps to really reinforce the chords. So this is what the chorus is sounding like. Again, that's sounding great. Let's add in even more percussion. It's going to really add to the groove of the song. So I'm adding in a tom fill, I'm adding in a clap, I'm adding in like a chink of like a wine glass, I'm adding in a wood block which I've pitched to 2 different notes, and I'm also adding a rim which is on the upbeat. Sounds like this with the drum fill going into the chorus. So that was pretty much the whole beat. The only thing that I wanted to do was add a few last extra bits in just to really fill things out. So what I did was I added just a drone playing the 1st and the 5th of the root of the chord. That helped to really add like a spaciness to the chorus. It sounds like this. I also added in some last bits of just ear candy, like some risers and some impacts as well, which sound like this. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. That's when we get paid and we get a boat. I got loads of beats available on my channel. I particularly love producing female pop. I've got type beats for Billie Eilish, Sabrina Carpenter, Olivia Rodrigo, Ariana Grande, Dua Lipa, Taylor Swift, Chappell Roan. So yeah, please check out the beats that I have available on my channel. So the last thing to do is to show you what a full beat sounds like from beginning to end. Please enjoy. Thank you so much for watching.